a man eulogized as a peacemaker, freedom fighter, and many good things. And we'll be also looking into his more than 50-year legacy. What does it represent, and what does it speak to the new generation of politicians and leaders? Many more issues we'll be looking into. We cannot forget the LOC village elections. We are into the final stages of electing the village leaders, and this week the women councils were elected at village level. We now await the election of the LOC chairpersons next week on Tuesday. It has been declared a public holiday, and also we'll be looking at how the exercise is progressing and what actually it speaks to the politics of this country. Is it the same story that we have always had with the elections or not? My name, once again, Prince Apollo, on the show this morning. Comrade Dr. Daniel Rugarama, a scholar, a lawyer, but also the chairman of the Pan-Africanist movement in Uganda, is already in the studios. I will, in a special way, introduce him to speak to you, because he endured the lockdown, and he arrived very early in the morning. Welcome to the show. It's a different matter this time around, comrade.
You know, we say in Runyankore, Ngweti ni hembe imurka ucharkai. So if you know that you are weak, you have got no business playing around with the strong.
Okay.
You just have to pack early.
So that is exactly what you do.
That's what I did. So I know I cannot manage the government if it has marshaled the forces and said that curfew starts at 7. So for me, by 6:30.
You belong to the ruling party, National Resistance Movement.
Oh yes, very much. So but I also know how ruthless they can be when they mean to be. You see, sometimes you must be clever. There is what we call sense of discernment.
Sure.
And by the time they remember, this is the Rugarama, the one who heads the Pan-African movement, Uganda National Chapter. What and what?
You are done.
You are done. So why not?
Speak to our viewers, the dialoguers, and we can get the big show.
Once again, I'm grateful that you have sought me out. The other time when you called me, I was engaged. But I'm glad that you had a beautiful show. I got opportunity to watch a few clips here and there, some which you sent to us. I'm glad that you have continuously, this program has continuously gained applause and support of the Wananchi out there. And it's always a pleasure making my humble contribution along with my colleagues whom I join me here in the house. I'm grateful that Comrade Apollo, you have been at it for such a long time, and may God bless.
Thank you.
Media.
We will, in another special way, introduce to you Timothy Chemongezi. And Timothy Chemongezi is the Executive Director for Center for Policy Analysis. He's a governance expert. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. And special recognition for enduring the lockdown.
Yeah. Thank you, Apollo, and a very good morning to you, to my comrade, the doctor, and all the viewers. Again, it's a confirmation that when government has taken a direction, probably that's the path that all of us should take. But I should say that what's happening is a good initiative. There are a few areas that maybe needs to be tightened here and there, but by and large, it's a good initiative. Thank you.
We will dedicate time to speak about the new initiative, the National Cleaning Days. But that's when we dig deeper. We expect to have Honorable Barnabas Tinkasimire, former Member of Parliament for Buyaga West, to join us on the dialogue this morning. welcome to the big show. But again, we also expect to have online Honorable Joseph Ochieno, right from the United Kingdom, to participate in this discussion. But before we now kick off this show, the compliance is really amazing. Is really amazing, and to kick off the debate, Comrade Dugarama, about this new initiative, it reminds me of the COVID era, when the streets were empty, the people locked, behind their doors in their houses. But this time round, it is different, in that it is for a good cause.
I join issues with Comrade Chemonges in his opening remarks. He said this is a good initiative. Just maybe to add that it's not the first time. We used to have Burunju Wansi, by the way, in the olden days. You remember? Where they would even come and inspect, do you have a katandari, is what in English?
Yeah, it's I think it's
where they put plates outside and people are trained.
Yeah, sure.
You remember those things? Check your...
Those were the days of RCs.
It was wonderful. Wonderful. And therefore, Uganda is just reinventing itself, I think, in some aspects.
Sure.
Yes, in some aspects. And this reinvention is for a good reason. We certainly need cleanliness. Now, borrowing or looking at other jurisprudences, we have got a case of Rwanda. This day is observed.
They call it Umuganda.
Umuganda is like joining together or giving each other a hand.
Yeah.
Something like that. In Singapore, it's the same. Actually, in China, they've gone to an extent whereby, also in Tanzania, by the way, but just in China, when it happens that I don't think the end of their nationals can do that anyway. But sometimes they get visitors, bad manners, and you throw something like outside, the bus driver must stop. They have to stop, go back, and then they pick. Now that shows you, at whatever point they are reminded that it happened, it gives you the picture that this is a very serious issue. There is a saying that cleanliness is next to something like godliness, something like that. Now you can imagine how they equate that to. So, and to me, apart from the fact that the majority of our cities are actually dirty, a lot of garbage, flies. You know, you move to a hotel, a reasonable hotel, and you see these big flies coming, and you know,
even if they are small, the flies shouldn't be.
I'm telling you, but the big ones now is another level.
At your table.
You remember the president at one time, during the time of
Mr. Sevana
Chizito, may his soul rest in eternal peace. He said, I don't have kind words for the mayor. When I'm at State House in Nakasero, I see this big fly. Then I asked Janet, where are these flies coming from? Then she reminded me that Sevana is the mayor. Now that really summarizes it. But all just to say that we have got good lessons from the past as far as Uganda is concerned, and we need to keep it up. But also just to say...
No, before you get there, you've talked about the seriousness in other jurisdictions, like in Rwanda, in Tanzania. Looking at how we have launched this good initiative, do you see that seriousness?
Yeah, the seriousness, I have seen it. Only that I wouldn't have loved it to come this way. You see, anything that is introduced, even the Bible talks about introduction of ideas in piecemeal. You know, if it had come in a way that this is not like COVID. COVID, it was obvious. I mean, people are going to get sick and die. So it's a matter of life and death. But Just because the city is dirty, I don't think it would have called for, because this is an equivalent of a lockdown for 3 hours. It's 3 hours?
But what's wrong with it if it is for a good cause?
It's for a good cause, but look at it this way. You see, why did you take away corporal punishment, for instance, in schools? Why? It's just because they looked at the negatives outweighing the positives. And they imagined that there are other worthy punishments which can even instill discipline in a child much more than corporal punishment can do. My view, and I think probably that's where my brother, Comrade Chimongos, was heading, is that if they had, for instance, you see, there is what government does to prepare the population. The population gets prepared to the extent that by the time this cleanliness gets to a level, every Ugandan is conscious and reminds himself, herself, that you must clean up yourself and your environment. And in Singapore, for instance, you don't have to tell anybody. No, it's automatic. In Tanzania, it's automatic. Therefore, here they may look at it from the angle of politics. They will say this is for cameras. That our movement what go here. This is just for camera. So, in order to take away, in order to make this go beyond political parties, go beyond religion, because some sections, for instance, are affected. We were here before we came onto the screen talking about the Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh-day Adventist, by late evening of Friday, they have gone into Sabbath. So now what is going to happen? Is whoever thought about this reinvention, which we have called a beautiful idea, should have done a comprehensive. By the way, you even constitute, they call it ad hoc committees. You get from Ministry of Health.
No, they already have an organizing committee, which is headed by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. And then his office, her office, together with the office, the Ministry of Health, it includes the Ministry of ICT, like I said, the Ministry of Water and Environment. They are all part of that organizing committee.
Who supervises this now?
The Right Honorable.
No. I mean at the lower levels where the work is being done. Local government. Who? Local government is big. Who? I am sweeping. I'm sweeping. Forget about our senior brother Baram. Baram, I like his way of doing things. Probably we need that kind of aspect, but he will run out of steam. That I can tell you.
What is your point? What are you saying?
No, I've already made the point. The point is that this is a very fantastic idea, but it should have filtered through gradual implementation of the, there is when you, by the time you say, you don't have to you remember the graduated tax, for instance, when they were running after people. But there is when a government does certain things that to the extent that people themselves remind themselves that we have got to pay tax. Why? They see the. So
you're talking about the high-handedness.
It's just what
I mean in the implementation.
Stop people with the borders. Stop vehicles. Where are you going with?
Is there any other way, any softer way?
Yes.
They could have implemented it.
Yes. Gradual implementation, education. We talk about civic education. Sensitize people. Then bring this idea gradually. It can even start at a level whereby, say, government institutions and all private major institutions, on this day, we are cleaning. Then it keeps trickling down. People will appreciate it.
All right. Let me hear from you, Comrade Chimonges. What do you make of this initiative? And more especially that we have had this culture. We have lacked this culture of cleanliness and hygiene for a very long time. And here it is. But again, you also need to appreciate the compliers. I think Ugandans have complied.
Absolutely. I think today morning in my neighborhood, I saw the LC came and was trying to mobilize us. We in the neighborhood we attempted to do something, collected a few caveras that were there and the dirt that had been there, and there's been by and large some level of compliance. From the police side, making my way here, I see they've also attempted to enforce to ensure that they mitigate the movements. So I think that there are positives in this, but at a broader level, it is true that there is need for us to enable Ugandans incorporate this in their day-to-day lives. Because see, I don't think that Ugandans are naturally dirty. They also they
naturally unhygienic.
No, I think that our people recognize the need to be in a clean space. They need to be.
Then what happens?
So there are few you would call rogue group of people who may not necessarily appreciate, and those are the people that we need to use a bit of force to comply. And so I think that this initiative is a good initiative, even if it was not for cleanliness, for bringing together the community for a cause, which is a good thing. For many times there are very few things that, like for example in my neighborhood, that bring us together, except for maybe if maybe there's a problem that has happened. But for a cause that brings us together, I have not seen any except this so far. However, there are a few things that I think we need to ensure that our people recognize better. One, I think the issue of distancing such initiatives from the politics of the day. I know it's hard, but unfortunately, many people view these in the lenses of politics.
Even this one, I mean, this particular initiative.
Yeah, that government is.
Have you heard voices of Ugandans who are looking at it through a political lens?
I think that if you listen to, and again, I'm using my neighborhood in terms of these people have failed to do their job, so they're here busy pushing us. So I think that the majority seems to recognize the need, but there's need for a deliberate emphasis that this is not a political initiative. This is a thing for the good of the public. Two, I think that there is need for government to also do their part. It could be the cities or the different local government systems. They should also ensure that they have their part to play to collect garbage, to ensure that, because they have their part, let them not also leave everything there, so that the community is speaking from somewhere. If government fails to do their part of job, ensuring that they collect the garbage, organize mechanisms of how these things are disposed, it undermines the overall objective. But I think the goal is good. Of course, the third for me, and more important, is around ensuring that we cascade this to the different levels of groupings.
Exactly.
So you're looking at schools, the need for us to incorporate this, there could be
in
groups
the school
in
system.
schools, so that as students and learners are pursuing their academic journey, that also they grow with that. In churches,
but Chamunges, me and you went through this school system. We know it, that in schools we use it to have time to go out and clean the compounds, slash the overgrown bushes around the school, even the school compounds. I mean, are you saying
things have changed?
It had been ignored for
schools now hire.
Schools
hire.
Schools do
Companies.
more of hiring. The system has a bit changed, but I think the new curriculum have a component on that of ensuring that there is a bit of hands-on doing of things. But I think that we just need to be more deliberate, even when there are piecemeal mechanisms of what's already happening. We need to push that. Our churches, our cultural institutions.
leaders.
And any of these other components must be brought on board, so that all of us play a key role. The last and for me the more important is that we do not have enough police officers to enforce this.
Do we need to have police to enforce?
The most sustainable, Because you cannot enforce through the police.
We have leaders at all levels in communities out there.
Yeah,
like you said, religious, cultural, even the local leadership can even families can enforce this.
So there has to be we have to get to a place, and probably that's a midterm, where people recognize that this is our responsibility. I don't need to be pushed. The police, I don't need to wait for the police to be able to act. And it's the same thing cutting across, including the recent things of road crashes that we see. We do not have enough traffic officers to oversee all our roads. You need to ensure that the users of the road recognize the need to adhere to the rules, the road regulations, and probably that's a long term. But because we are looking at the question of cleaning day and all this, it's a good thing. There is need for more awareness. There is need for more engagement with the communities to ensure that they are part and parcel of this, so that at the end of the day, even how people choose to dispose their waste is in a manner that is in accordance with the goodness of the community, so that you don't throw there and then you wait for you to collect again on Saturday. Dispose it right. The government should be able to provide these mechanisms, the bins, so that it's a bit easier, and it should cut across. The example that Dr. Daniel highlights, where you go to other jurisdictions, and the thought of just getting rubbish you throw out of the car. The car has to stop for that to be collected. I think that it's a progressive means to get there, but we'll definitely get there if we push this momentum. My hope is that also we don't lose the momentum, because on these first days sometimes there can be a bit of hype, and then as you move across the days, the momentum goes low.
Well, I think that's the question that is lingering on everyone's mind out there, whether this initiative is sustainable, can sustainably be upheld. And Timothy and Comrade Rugarama, I think this is a mindset challenge. Issue. It like you said, people who throw rubbish, who litter around, either plastic bags or plastic bottles, do not belong to that class. You would say they are maybe uneducated or what. It's a mindset issue. I don't know how you, Comrade, you look at it, Rugarama. And again, I think what you may call the high-handedness of certain enforcing agencies. Perhaps it is maybe on restrictions or restricting movements or what, but in communities deep there, I from what I've gathered, these are local leaders, the councillors, the local chairpersons or what, who are mobilizing their communities, the police and other, and perhaps they I don't know if the army is involved in this. They may be on the roads enforcing, travel restrictions. I don't know what you saw.
I have actually even moved on foot, taken the lower route and moved a considerable distance. I have looked at the brothers and sisters cleaning, and I've also looked at the police traffic officers who are stopping borders and vehicles. And I think that is where we came from. How did we start this? We have all by consensus, at least here in the studio, agreed that this is a fantastic idea. And it is just being reinvented. Otherwise, it is not new. So let not Nabanja or anybody out there think that they are the most brilliant people that have ever happened to this country. This has been here before. Let me make that point.
But what happened? What happened to the initial?
We are the ones actually who even dismantled that. By the way, it was
the
there.
same people.
Yes, we as people, as leadership, even NRM, I should say, we are the ones who killed it. It was there. It was there during Obote's time. Have you forgotten?
Yeah.
Even the thing I was talking about, that was during Obote's time. If my memory serves me right, I was a kid.
But
yes.
even like I told you, during
even the
during
initial
the
days,
RC,
yes,
RC days,
initial
Resistance
days,
Council days,
absolutely,
there was room
the
to ask
80s and then the very first initial 90s around there. So what happened? We killed it ourselves. So by bringing something, by killing something, and then bringing it back, and then we think it is an innovation. It is not an innovation.
It is realizing
We
your
should
mistake
bring this
and
one.
correcting it.
Yes, we should bring this one humbly, even apologize, forgive us for having even abandoned the beautiful idea. Therefore, we are bringing it back. But in bringing it back, we humbly want to cooperate in this way. This is what I was talking about. Bringing it back gradually, not in the manner that people are going to look at it and start making all sorts of insinuations. And we say, is it really political? Unfortunately, some people, there are things like Bibaremie. They pay KCCA, they pay who, they are stealing money, then they are making us clean their own things. Why? But most important,
so they are politicizing.
Yes, that element is there. Which one? It is a wonderful idea, this one. Now, there is another element also. This element is what you talked about. The civic element, the mind.
The mindset.
You see, this mind, let me tell you, discipline is the answer to almost everything. We used to have, was it Professor Sekamwa? Yes, I think it was Professor Sekamwa. Who used to say, I am training teachers, go out there, but even when you get out of class and you are in other spheres of life, let somebody look at you, what you do, and say, this must be a product of Makerere University,
Yes.
Faculty of Education. By then it was not a school. These colleges and schools are for yesterday. You see, you get that statement. Now, that was to imply that you don't tell us what you are, who you are. We should be able to see and know. Ugandans, majority of us, sorry for this, but we are very indisciplined, including the top leadership. Now, to bring back discipline, this aspect of togetherness, where an FDC, NOP, NRM are all together on the road and cleaning, or maybe at a restaurant or wherever it is, it brings back this unity, common behavior, that something brings us together and it is for the good of the country. But we must train this mind deliberately and persuasively, not with coercion.
Not with an iron hand.
Absolutely. This is not COVID.
Comrade,
nobody is going to die immediately.
Comrade Chemongers, wind up on this issue. We have looked at other cases like Rwanda. I think Rwanda has sustained it, and actually even the Rwandans, the people of Rwanda have actually adopted into their mindset to be hygienic and to keep their environments clean. How far do you see this initiative? I mean, going into that direction?
I think let me be optimistic in the interest of the purpose for what this is established, and I want to believe that the momentum is likely to keep up. To the extent that Ugandans are likely to continue embracing this. There is need for us to address if there are issues that are arising, whether they are religious, they are cultural, or they are whatever perspective. We need to ensure that we listen to some of those, fix what we need to fix, ensure that we onboard as many people through awareness, through engagements, and through other strategic means, so that we create the momentum. The momentum definitely will greatly depend on the already existing structures, using the schools, using the LC structures, the local government structures, once those structures are strengthened, then they become anchors of, sustainability. You have the churches. Churches should also actively participate in this. The cultural institutions, Uganda Kingdom, the other kingdoms in the country, should be able to come and also embrace this. Talk to the people and say, this is the direction that we are taking. And on top of this, it's a reflection of who we are. So those are, I think, for me, those are factors that are important as we pursue this.
But Chimunga's Uganda Kingdom has been doing it. Burunji Bwanside.
Absolutely. It's just to they incorporate that in already existing government structures. Because now this is the government structure. So we embed those and
even at the army. Is it on
Saturday
or something? Yeah.
But that is once in a year.
Yeah, you see,
it's once in a year. Yet this is a monthly initiative, and every last Saturday of the month, we must go for the national cleaning exercise. And I think it's a good start.
If you package it the way I have presented it, if it came through education, civic education, persuasion, and good ideas, would reach a point where, by the way, even you, somebody who is driving a vehicle, when they are doing Urunjubwansi, and you are not an ambulance, you are not an emergency, you feel out of place.
Yes.
The guys would look at this and say, what is this one doing? It's like you are in Singapore and you are littering. It's called littering. You are littering. Or even in Uganda, you are on Chigari streets and you are littering somewhere. People look at you and they're like,
what exactly
is this one really Rwandese or something like that? So you feel out of place. My point really, and I hope that my brother and the audience gets to understand this. After conceding to the fact that this is a beautiful reinvention, bringing back what originally existed and was very good, you go to people's homes. It's a disaster. I want to tell you, people's homes, the time is going to reach. I hope no offense intended, by the way, Comrade Apollo. The time is going to reach. Do you see at one time that we had a call on government to go and spray bed bugs? What causes bed bugs?
That's hygienic.
And the entire region, they were spraying. So it gives you, and the moment you have got a dirty mind, not a clean sense, a clean the sense of hygiene, everything goes way.
Okay. That's it here on the dialogue. My name is Prince Apollo, and we'll be inviting you to participate in the discussion. Comrade Rugarama, a scholar, a lawyer, but also a Pan-Africanist in the studio, and Mr. Timothy Chimongez, political analyst and the executive director for Center for Policy Analysis. We hope to be joined by Honorable Joseph Ochieno, a member of the Uganda People's Congress and a leader in UPC, but also a strategist, but also a pundit on issues of governance. I hope if he's ready, we can speak to him and then pick his opinion on these and other matters, especially this issue of the National Cleaning Day. How sustainable can it be, and how far can it go into turning our communities to better? I mean, in terms of hygiene, in terms of cleanliness. We admire cities elsewhere. We admire, cleanness in other countries. What did really happen to this country? And that's when you feel that something must be done in one way or another. If he's ready, we'll be linking up with him. Honorable Ochieno, if he's ready, But if he's not, you can make a comment. As
Yeah,
we-
I was telling you that I have not told you about Japan. Japan, they take it to another level. And because of that sense of cleanliness, which is instilled even at birth, everything over there moves smartly. That is why you will find their cities, you see what they did at World Cup?
Yeah.
Even when they'd been defeated, they were beaten, and these Americans had littered all over. For them, they stayed behind. The fans, they stayed behind and they cleaned up the stadium.
Looks like my guest is ready. If he's ready, let's look at his face and connect with him. Honorable Ocheno. If the picture is going through, we would want to hear from him and see him talk about this new initiative. Okay, I'm not so sure if he's ready, but I will know when he's ready. You're talking about
Yes,
Japan and other
Japan,
countries.
they cleaned up the entire stadium. That was, you have been defeated, first of all. You are getting out of the tournament. It is FIFA World Cup. And the fans themselves, not even, and the players actually even attempted to join them. They didn't want to go to the dressing room. They wanted to stay around also and join them. Now that level, we can reach there. But do you know what it took them? Took them time, took them dedication, took them disciplining the mind first. But it didn't take them policing. No, we are not going to achieve much.
Yeah, but if you look at the effort, at least in this launch, you see the president being officiating through delegation, officiating on such an event. The Right Honorable Prime Minister and all those cabinet and the stakeholders all involved, Kampala Capital City Authority, the Ministry of Environment. I saw a collection of high-ranking officials on that event. Doesn't it speak to the seriousness and the vigor perhaps attached to this initiative?
Absolutely. I think that seeing all the government officials, the machinery coming together to ensure that this specific goal is not only realized but also is pursued is a good thing. And partly because also government position should be respected, but also it must be seen to be taken serious by both the government officials and the people. So it's important that once government has given a direction, we all toe it, especially if it's in the good interest of the country. Now, the extent to which this is sustained, the extent to which this is realized is where the real mathematics is. Because we must ultimately target to get where there is behavioral change. What Dr. Daniel highlights, that you see citizens of Japan who have gone to the World Cup and they see plastic and other waste has been disposed after the match, and
they do a cleanup.
Willingly collect that and do a bit of cleanup is where it's the highest level of behavioral change towards certain specific action. And once you realize that, it cuts across, because you have aspects to do with now the cleaning. You have issues in how we are dealing with our road usage, which also is a big problem that we have, and many of the other challenges coming along behavioral change, but also recognizing that there is this patriotism spirit that as people we must be able to put in. That it is our collective effort to ensure that this country is good, but also is habitable. And so even when we are encouraging the people to ensure that they comply, I think government must also do their part of the bargain, ensure that they collect the garbage collection is clear, cleanliness in many of their offices. You go to a government office and it's also in a mess. It's in a mess. You wonder what example is being portrayed. So it must be overall that beyond just the collection of rubbish within, we must push this to our offices, to our homes, and broadly in the whole community.
All right, I'm trying to connect with Honorable Joseph Ochieno, and I'm sure he's ready. Let's speak to him. Honorable Ochieno, if you're following, and of course, you must be I mean, aware of what is happening back home here in Uganda, though you are in UK. Honorable Ochieno, I'm sure you are in a cleaner environment, but you know what is happening here. We are doing everything we can to also, live in a cleaner environment. What can you quickly speak to our viewers and then tell us what you think about such an initiative?
Can you hear me?
Very well, loud and clear.
Yeah. In following, but the environment so polluted that for the last 10 minutes you couldn't hear me, but I could hear you. But thank you for having me. Delight to see my brethren in there, including young Timothy. True that this is a new initiative. I agree with David. Except that what is new is the manner in which it has been brought up, and the manner in which it is actually being implemented. This is something which is so fundamental that it will be implemented in Uganda under NRA Idi Amin. It was a UP government seeking to raise used to be there. One, you would have to make public, to have a common. Three, give people reasonable notice. But for most importantly, make it a manifestment. As you say, I am in London, where just had a government not through election, but through an internal democratic process. And much more Ugandans are being substantially shortchanged. Because this is something so important that you come one morning and say, those days we must do it now. So I think it's a terrible, the manner in which we implement it. Number two, particularly, however it is, you don't hold citizenship in a manner in which you say,
Honorable Ochieno, your line is breaking. We can't get the message very clear, and we request that the technicians do some adjustments and then we bring you back. It's not so clear, and the message, we will lose the message. We will not communicate in a way. But that's it. We hope to hear from Honorable Joseph Ochieno on this particular matter. He worked closely with the UPC government, and like you had referred to the matter before, I think they were more serious about such issues. I don't know. I was young.
The local, all of us really, all of us, but we could see, what was happening. The truth of the matter is that this is not a new initiative. We are glad it has been reintroduced, but during Obote's time, it was more comprehensive.
In which way?
It was more comprehensive in the sense that it reached the homes.
Okay.
You see, this is now public roads, restaurants, these open places. Okay. Although there is encouragement that you also do it at home. Encouragement. But what used to happen, the other aspect, and I think our senior brother Ochieno was going there. He must be happy that I talked about UPC. When you bring him back, in fact, he's very far. And he comes with some pounds for me. But that's the truth. So much was UPC's way of cleanliness that they would even go and inspect. That aspect of inspection. You say, you are saying, where do you put your cups? Under the plates, okay, and the saucepans. Now, if the inspector, and then they would talk about, you see, we are having a problem of you will forgive my language, defecation.
Open
It is a
defecation.
Open defecation. It is there. And with it brings so many diseases. But they reached the level, during that UPC time and the RNRM, they reached the level where they would want to see where is your Peter tree.
Yeah, sure.
Very important. Are you aware that even in our schools, Chemongos was talking about it, even in our schools, we have got some cases of poor disposal of menstrual pads.
Oh, yeah.
And it brings back, first of all, the diseases, and secondly, there is a way it impacts on the what we call that self-confidence. When you are dirty, when you are generally the environment, the self-esteem also runs down. So in order, the whole picture really is that in order to have a clear attitude towards life, the environment in which we're operating must be clean. We're already having enough problems. We have problems in the political dispensation of way of doing things. We have problems across not accessing clean water. Are you aware that in Kampala we have a problem of shortage of water?
Yeah, we have water shortage.
Somebody may not know.
And water is closely linked to hygiene.
That's right.
Yes, people may not know that because they take some of these things lightly, that they may think that people have water.
Yeah, perhaps that's why the Minister for Water and the Environment is part of the organizing committee.
I hope, like I said, I want to reiterate my position. I hope that we can fix a few things which we are pointing it out. Whenever we come here and we air out some of these concerns, let us not be looked at as if we are dissing.
We are saboteurs.
We are sabotaging government. No, we are so much part and parcel of government. But we are trying to give a message, because this is a media, mass media, to the people who are implementing some of these things, that if you can fix here, fix there, it's a good idea. It will even be much better than it was before.
All right, Chemongos, we are running out of time. We need to go for a short break at the top of the hour. But more issues to speak about will be in the second hour, looking at the growing tribute accorded to the late General Moses Ali, the former second deputy prime minister of the Republic of Uganda, who passed away this week and the other week, and he was buried in Adjumani. But before that, in Parliament and elsewhere during the burial ceremony, the people paid, glowing tribute to the man as a statesman, a freedom fighter, and a peacemaker who will, live in the annals of history. I still would want to pick a comment from Honorable Cheno before we close this topic, but looks like the connections are still not right, and when it is done, we'll be seeking his comment on this. Let's conclude on this, Chemongos. We only have like a minute.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. I give it to you. We conclude on this.
Absolutely. So mine is to again thank government in terms of what has happened, and to encourage them that we must ensure that we look into the areas that it's the first one for at least, and from when the cabinet passed that position. There are lessons to be learned along the way. There are issues that are being raised. Let's try to work on those ones. But ultimately, this is a good idea.
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea for the people. It's a good idea for the government. But also, it's a good idea to the religious perspective of this. That cleanliness is next to God.
Let's hope the conflict between the government and the SDA Church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, is resolved amicably, and the initiative is not. Is not affected in any way. The efforts are not hampered.
I mean, the SDA church is just one of the many concerns that are coming along.
Yeah,
Our
no,
hope
that's
is that
not yet out.
there are definitely win-win situations that have to be looked into.
Okay.
But the cause is good. We must pursue it, but deal with the underlying.
Comrade Garama, I forget you both are lawyers. Just in your concluding remarks, we've had a section of Ugandans who are raising issues of human rights that perhaps people should not be flogged or, pushed and into these. There are organs and, like you said, agencies that are supposed to handle these issues. Are we seeing? People, the negative forces derailing this good idea? Just in your closing remark, in West Wyoming.
Well, really, first of all, you talked about frogging. Frogging was outlawed, no doubt about it, and it is one sign of torture. It is beats human rights. But most importantly, there must be a balance. We have a government.
We have a recent case of the express permits on roads, and you know it. You know how it died immediately. It was shot down by negative forces.
This excitement. That's why I talked about progressive, persuasive, so that it percolates, and the entire society is permeated with this fantastic idea.
All right.
But government will always be government. They have good programs to run, and they run them with and through people.
Good. Thank you so much, our viewers. Now we go for a short break. The dialogue will return to look at the legacy of General Moses Ali, who has been eulogized as a statesman, a freedom fighter, and a peacemaker, a man who lived, a political, a rare political life through regimes and endured insurgencies and all that. I can see Mama Jackie in Kigali, she's watching. We'll pick on those comments when we return from this short break. Hear from you. Tell us what you think about these initiatives and perhaps the other issues we'll be bringing in the next hour. Let's go for a break. We'll return after this short while. Don't go away.